switch gears, was come back here at home. And so last night, Charlotte City Council addressed Friday's stabbing on the light rail. And this comes less than 4 months after the deadly stabbing of Iryna Zarutska prompted increased security measures on public transportation. We heard from Mayor Vialaus again, and we also heard from folks on the GOP side of things. But Julie Kay is here in studio. You're sorting all of this out because there is fallout with this latest stabbing. Again, we heard from Mayor Vialaus last night, but Ben Thompson, our Ben Thompson, spoke with her today. You also have been speaking to plenty of people. Catch us up on what you got going on.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting dynamic right now of what do we do now. We've already implemented back in October new security measures for cats. That includes, of course, an increase in officers, increased fare evasion checks, different types of officers. You may have seen them on UTVs or bikes, things like that. So just an increase in presence overall, but I think the terms that a lot of council members and Mayor Vialaus are coming to now is that's not enough. Clearly, stuff is still happening on our system. The fact that this is a very similar incident to what happened 4 months ago. Of course, the victim in this case is doing well and is recovering. So that is some good news here, but it really comes down to what do we do now? So for me, the biggest headline of today is that Mayor Vialaus is saying we may have to close off these platforms. For those of you who use the light rail, I do quite often, you'll know you can just walk on without getting your ticket checked. Of course, in theory, you're supposed to get it checked when you're on there. You're supposed to buy a ticket every time in case you get checked. I know a lot of people who've never been checked on the light rail, though, even to this point. And so because you don't have to do it when you walk onto the platform, it leaves a lot of room for people to fall through the cracks. And so the idea of closing off that platform to prevent potentially suspects like this who were previously banned from getting on in the first place could mitigate some of that. Now our Jesse Pierre is looking into kind of that section of it of how do you check if someone's banned, how did he get on, that kind of side of things. And so I don't have her updates on that end. But the fact that both Mayor Vialaus and I spoke with Dimple Ajmira, Councilwoman Dimple Ajmira, who said something similar, that's a conversation we now need to have, not just with council, but also at the same time, the new transit authority is getting put into place, and they'll be in charge of a lot of those funds from the sales tax increase that just passed to make decisions like this, because that is going to cost a lot of money if that's the direction they decide to go, especially with us adding the red line potentially.
And you already have the sheriff's office saying, where's the money going to come from? Malcolm Graham, where's the money going to come from? So a lot of different sort of things coming out of this. I mean, even before this latest stabbing, I mean, just fallout from just 4 months ago with Iryna Zarutska. I guess I should ask before we let you go, biggest takeaway from your interview with Dimple Ajmira?
Biggest takeaway is that she wants people to know that council is listening, and that is what I gathered from the brief time it was discussed last night. It was a short council meeting, kind of winding down for the holidays, and this was the first meeting with the new council as well, 3 new members. But she wants to make it very clear that they are paying attention, they are looking at other avenues. She doubled down on Mayor Lyle's request to get updated security information from CATS, so they're expecting that this week. She said she has a call later today with interim CEO of CATS, Brent Cagle, to talk about options going forward, but also those options being limited with just kind of a lack of funding. Both, you mentioned Sheriff McFadden talking about, we've got Iryna's Law going out at the same time, which will require them to hold more people for longer, straining the resources on the already, tightly capacity jail. So we've got multiple things in Charlotte-Mecklenburg region that require an increase in funding potentially, at the same time as we have no state budget that would be able to help mitigate some of that. Not saying that, Republicans in the legislature would decide to do that. Right. But if that funding is going to come from anywhere else, that's where it would be, and it's not happening at this point.
Yeah, a lot of things happening all point directly to the same sort of
Yeah.
thing. We do, Julie, before I let you go, when can we catch your story later today?
5 p.m. And we'll have some of the sound from
Okay.
Mayor Vi Lyles, but Ben, of course, is going to put together a piece separately from his interview.
And that is an exclusive interview with our Ben Thompson. Julie, thank you. We do have a statement from, as I mentioned, Mecklenburg GOP. Here's a statement they sent. That headline reads, Charlotte City Council chooses cover-up over public safety. Again, this, as it reads, this is not satire. At last night's meeting, the Charlotte City Council approved nearly $3.4 million for a public relations campaign to promote the city's light rail system, rather than addressing crime, rider security, or even using this money to help fund the sheriff's department to implement Iryna's law, also House Bill 307. The City Council is choosing propaganda over real solutions. Charlotte City Council wants to cover up the truth and tell residents to sit down and be quiet about safety concerns. Let us be clear, public safety in Charlotte is not a messaging problem, it's a leadership problem. And it goes on to say, in Liberty, Kyle Kirby, Chairman, Mecklenburg County Republican Party. Again, that is a statement that we got. We got it this morning, I believe, James, right?
We got it in a short time ago.
Okay.
We are efforting an interview with them here on Live Impact News. And I'll also just mention, Nick, as they alluded to in the statement there, the funding for Iryna's law. We had the Mecklenburg County Sheriff right here in the Impact News studio this morning saying something very similar, which was that the law is what it is, but he is asking for more staffing and more funding in order to implement the changes that come with that law.
Yeah, so again, a lot of fallout from all of this, and it really kind of points back to the same thing.